Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Rachel, Treehouse Fiber Arts.
Soon at 24, Legacy Fiber Arts, Legacy Linen,
Yes, LFA linens.
LFA Linens, because there is a Legacy Linens. Because originally I was thinking, I think we both talked about it, and then we discovered that I love LFA Linens. I love the name.
Yes, me too.
It's us.
But we're floss tossed. So let's
Yeah.
just throw in another name there for you to think about. We're very confusing here. We
It's very
apologize.
confusing. It's very confusing for some people.
Yeah, for most people. For us, it's confusing. But welcome. We're glad you're here. It is the 26th of January, 2023. And I have a winter wonderland outside my window right now. How about you, Sue?
I have a wet swamp spring-like day again.
Oh, did it melt already?
Oh, it snowed. It caused, like it was snow. So, plowing and all of that. And then yesterday was supposed to be snow turning to ice, turning to rain, and it snowed for 2 seconds and rained.
Oh no. Here I thought we were both going to be in snow today because I'm in a snowy, well, I can see in your reflection there. It looks just like brown woods.
What it is, brown woods. And you know what? I'm okay with it because I have to go out and it's not freezing cold. And I do crave those days where it just snows. Like yesterday was a day like you're not going to go out because the forecast was horrible, even though it didn't happen. So I was settled in for the day with a, yummy crock pot meal, all those cozy feels. And then it's weird. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel, it's the end of January and we've probably had a total of, we had one like little storm, maybe 5 inches, 6 inches. You're probably on foot number 10.
It's been a little strange here too, because we had 2 major snow dumps. Like we had 1.5 feet and then we had like 2 feet. We're on the west side of the state. So of Michigan here, I'm coming from the Grand Rapids area and we get all the lake effect snow. And usually we just get lots of snow all winter and we got huge dumps. And then we got this, which was maybe 4 to 6 inches, but this snowstorm, the east side got more than us. I think they had snow days and stuff and we got less. So it's kind of strange.
We had like a get out of school early yesterday because they were talking about it like it was going to be huge. And I am in Connecticut and New England is not even Vermont. The Vermonters aren't getting a lot of snow. They're getting snow, but not like in years past.
Yeah. Oh, for the skiing. Yeah. How has the skiing been for Dave?
Good. He goes up to southern Vermont. They're actually going tomorrow, I think, or Saturday to the Berkshires, but I don't know if they've gotten any up there. But of course, they make snow and then they get enough on the mountains. So it's been decent.
Yes. Yeah. Well, good. Well, we welcome you. That was our weather forecast for episode 57. Sue, what sweater are you wearing today?
I am wearing, what did I wear last time? Did I wear this?
No.
Oh, I wore this is my Love Notes.
And you got mohair in that one.
Yeah, it's my second one.
Oh,
I love it so much. It is our cinnamon sticks, cozy toes with, which is a fingering weight with a strand of mohair.
That's beautiful.
So cozy. I'm actually pretty warm.
I bet you are really warm in that. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's my second one. It's made to be cropped and crop sleeves. So my first one, the sleeves were like to here and cropped, not super cropped, but cropped. This one I wanted longer. And I've really been wearing it a lot. It's a really good sweater. Kind of into sweaters right now.
I am too. Well, we can bring them out now. It's so fun. Yeah. I know that this is one of my first sweaters. And I actually wore it to Vogue Knitting Live the first time I went to that. It was the Vogue Knitting Live where I was trying to get in touch with you. We were texting back and forth, but we did not connect. Yes. And you and Chelsea were there. It was way before
your very first one we went.
Yes. We weren't texting because we weren't on texting level, but we were on Instagram.
Okay.
or me, I don't know. I tried to find you and I couldn't
Oh,
find
that
you.
makes me so sad.
Yep.
That was the
So it wasn't
funnest
until a few
time.
years later that I found you at the with our dear friend Denise. But yeah, this is Anzula, the color work, it does all the work for you. And I was wearing this walking through Vogue Knitting Live, and Anzula stopped me and they took a picture and they were like, "Can we take a picture? We love how
You
you
must
use
have
it
been
in the sweater."
melting.
I was a new knitter, sort of, and I was like, "Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay, two things. You had to be melting because it's always so hot in there. And it's coming
Yeah.
up this February. And Chelsea and I talked about it on our new Creative Seed, how that was our first venture out into really meeting
Mhm.
people. And it
Mhm.
just is very nostalgic for me, Vogue Knitting Live. It's not my favorite event. It's just very nostalgic. So I love it.
Yes.
And I love New York
Yes.
City and I love
Mhm.
going. But
Mhm.
I can't believe you were there and I didn't know it.
Yeah, and I know it was the first time you met Eric, and I remember you meet because I was watching, Eric's show, and at the time, um, the
Nina,
dark-haired who?
Nina was doing her sock challenge.
Nina, and then the really petite, kind of gothic, dark
Oh,
hair.
Full and Vine.
Bull and Vine.
Yes.
Yes, I was watching her and I was watching
Yep.
you, that gang. You were
Yep.
all
That
clustered together
there.
somewhere. And I was on my Instagram and I was like, I know they're somewhere hanging
Oh, that
out.
makes me so sad.
No, we met when we were supposed to.
Yes.
But
But now the other part is I can't believe why did I think you've been knitting your entire life?
no, no, I started in 2008.
Wow.
Yeah, I started in 2008 when George was born.
Okay.
I tried to learn how to knit in 4-H when I was like 10. I took a 4-H and I just couldn't grasp it. And I was so mad at myself until I was 33 years old when I had George. And it stuck in my mind that I couldn't do it.
We are
And I
probably the same.
crocheted and I sewed and I did all kinds of other things. And I always had in my head, knitting is hard, knitting is hard, knitting is hard from that experience. And then when I had George and I had a little bit of downtime when he was, nursing, and Alex was at school, I had a friend of mine with kids whose mom owned a knitting shop in Spokane, Washington, but she lived in Tacoma, Washington. And her mom sent over a box of stuff for us to knit in our little friends group. And she taught me how to knit. And then I found a knitting store and I just took off from there. YouTube. All of a sudden I found YouTube and it was like, are you kidding me? I can learn this all by myself. So yeah,
It's interesting.
YouTube taught me the rest.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
just gotta look at that.
Mhm.
Okay. So we probably started around the same time.
No kidding.
Yep. Because I, like you, had tried several times. And what kept stopping me is I never knew how to fix my mistakes. So if I made
Yes.
a mistake, I'd rip it all out. I'm talking like big things. And then one day I just decided I wanted to be a knitter. And
Mhm.
that was when it worked. But yeah, but no, I have not been a lifelong knitter. My story is exactly your story.
I had it was a mental block. I just had to succeed in it. I just had this like inner thing with me. I had to knit. It's like it was a part of my DNA. I cannot.
Yes. And I think it's part of your whole background, right? Your whole family history.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when I ended up doing that Norway trip, and then I never have I felt so, I don't know, I just felt so at home there. It just sounds so silly, but I felt so at home and myself there. I can't explain it.
Oh, I totally get it.
A lot of times, now I'm being very honest and vulnerable and honest, Rachel here. Time, everyone, cue the violence. But a lot of my life, I feel like I'm the outsider looking in at the world, like, who are these people? Like nobody gets me kind of feeling. No, it's not a bad thing. I'm used to it and it's not a bad thing. I like hanging out by myself, but when I was in Norway, I was like, holy moly, here's where my people have been all my life. Like I
So you
found
probably
them.
have lived there in years past.
I don't know. It's
If
such a
that's
weird
what
feeling.
yeah, like I always have thoughts about things like that. Like, did I live before in this era? Like, I don't know if I believe it or not. It's just, but it's always a thought. Like maybe,
Your DNA did, or maybe
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, there you go. Wow. So Floss Toss is a we're stitching podcast. Floss too. We do many things. So we
We do
started out
many
talking about
things.
knitting. It's
Yes.
winter, and I have been doing a lot of knitting.
Yes, I have been doing a lot of stitching. I've been doing a lot of everything, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I
you have
really
been.
I've been trying really hard for that work-life balance
Mhm.
and leaving time in my day to do more than just like, oh, I'll knit or I'll stitch before I wake up, when I wake up, which I kind of do that almost religiously. It's just a nice way to enter my day.
Mhm.
Um, and then I've been finding time to knit, and I don't know.
Mhm.
I think it's the winter too. It's like I want to be home. I don't want to be out, and I
Right.
never want to be out. Let's be honest. I never want
It's
to be out. That is so
talking.
gorgeous.
Kind of matches my
It
holy
kind of does.
moly. Oh my gosh. So it started out for George, it is still for George. He's going to try it on. I didn't want him to try it on his nicely coiffed hairdo this morning because it was
Yes.
dry this morning. Last night I gave it its little bath and it was dry
Oh,
this
it's
morning. Isn't it cute? I kind of want to make mittens. I've got enough for it. He said, yes, there's pink in it. I'm going to try it on. He said, I'm in touch with my feminine side. That's what his words were this morning. And he could totally rock it. But I did say that I could do the same colors because he loves the brown. He loves brown and he loves orange and everything. If I did, what color should I do in place of the pink?
blue.
Okay. So
Just because it complements the brown and the orange.
So a lighter shade or a
I would go the same value you have so that it pops the same.
Okay.
But you know what? I don't even know George, but I know George, and I would think he could totally wear that.
He totally could. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't even think of, I don't know.
But the thing is, I totally could too. So it could be mine.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree.
so since we were talking about knitting, I thought I'd throw it in. This, I know I mentioned it on the previous podcast, but this is a real soulful yarn. It's a place-based yarn. This is all Michigan yarn. Sheep is from a local flock here, I don't know, a few minutes south of me. It is a Cormo. No, it is a BFL. I don't have my show notes, by the way. So this is like all in my head.
BFL and Corriedale.
No, wasn't it BFL Cormo?
I don't
know.
know.
No, it's not Cormo. No, it's not Corriedale. It was Cormo. Yeah, it's Cormo BFL. Totally. So it's just a really nice, it was a longer staple, but it's softer. Oh, it's so nice. It's
you can feel it just by
it was spun here. Yeah. So
gorgeous.
Beautiful. And it's not a pattern in particular. It's just a mishmash of patterns.
Yeah. I love it. Well, that is gorgeous.
That's my FO for today.
Lots of
okay.
FOs.
Bring on your FOs.
Okay. Don't you want to talk about, did we want to talk about the Carrie's?
Well, yeah, Carrie. She is doing, we can talk about that right now. Switch gears into Carrie's birthday sale. Yes. She's doing the Tiger Lily birthday sale again this year. And she's using the Boston Tea Party LFA linen 16 count, and we had 10 yards of that, and as of this morning we are sold out. So thank you to all of you who are doing the sale with her. As soon as she put up her video on Tuesday, it sold out. So fortunately, we do still have it in 18 count, 32 count, and 40 count in the shop. The 18 count would enable you to only use one strand of floss, which would be kind of nice. And it would be a little smaller because it is a big girl.
Big. Yeah, it is a big one.
If you are wanting the 16 count, we will probably have it back in the shop mid to end of February, right, Sue?
Yeah, we were talking about it before we came on. For some reason, the shipping is taking so much longer than usual. They are shipping out usually the day I order, if it's early enough in the day, or next day. And there's something about I think it's UPS. I don't know, one of the shipping services. It's just really slow right now. I used to get it so fast.
Yeah. So whatever the case, this is like a 6-month to year-long sale, obviously, because it's a big project. So I'm sure you have some other stuff that you're working on anyway. If you want to do it along with her, you don't have the fabric and you want it in 16 count, you'd probably get it end of February. So if that's the case and you did want the 16 count, shoot me an email. My email is in the description box below, and I'll put you on a list and let you know when it comes in.
Yes.
So yeah,
I never,
Carrie.
as a dyer, yes, happy birthday, Carrie.
As
a dyer too, it's really hard to differentiate the counts. So that's why I think like 16, 18, not a huge difference, really.
That's true.
I have to specifically put them at a certain spot on my rack. Like I always put 32, 36, 32 and 16 together because they equal the same. So I have all these systems in my head of how to keep them straight. And then of course I label them once they're dry, but it's really hard to tell the difference.
Yeah. I mean, maybe when you're stitching, you can feel it a little more, but I agree. Cause when I'm serging them up too, I have to keep them straight.
Yeah, you do.
Especially the 16 and the 18. 20, I can tell. And 14 is obvious,
14
but
is
that 16 and 18 are very close.
Very close.
Very
close. Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, speaking about Carrie, she texted me a picture of what she has started now.
Is it gorgeous?
Oh, she's entering the world of socks.
Oh, I sent her sock yarn.
Yes. Well, she's starting with toe up, Turkish cast on.
Oh, that's the hardest one.
I know. And it looked perfect.
Of course it does.
She only had to try it 3. She goes, I just started 3 times. I'm like, that's nothing, but okay.
Well, she's using magic loop, I think.
It looked, I think, I didn't see a lot of little needles everywhere.
That can be helpful, but yeah, oh boy, that's definitely not the easiest way to start socks. But I love toe up and I never do them just because the other way is ingrained in my brain and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't resist. I sent her some of our Curiouser, I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
Like it was green.
That it was probably the giant hawk just flew by.
Oh.
The mini skein for the toe, probably.
She's yes. Who knows? But she's starting. So
yeah.
That girl.
So fun.
I know. Okay. So we talked about that. I think that was all we had to do administratively.
I think so too. So I have lots of finished objects because I think I've gotten some of my speed back too. Because I'll show you what I did last night and it's shocking to me. So I got a baby invitation to one of my favorite families' baby shower. And I always make them stockings, but I was like, I didn't have all the stuff. I don't have time. I only have a week and blah, blah, blah. And I had 2 weeks. And so I started 2 sweaters and I didn't like either one of them. They just weren't cutting it for me. It was like, I loved the pattern. They weren't cutting it. So I'm like, I'm going to make her a stocking. So it's Monday now. The shower's on Sunday. And I thought I had the fabric. No, I didn't have the fabric and the store is closed and it's Monday and I had a light day. So I anticipated being able to get a lot done. So then I go to the store and they no longer make the fabric that I've been using all along.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, that was a new one. So I didn't like go like, oh my gosh, because I didn't have like I had only done her and her husband and they were the same fabric. So now the kids are all going to be in the different fabric. And I really love the different fabric. And it is, I don't know, cork raw natural. I believe it's, I don't know.
Is it the same weight?
It's a little smaller. It's a little, so here it is.
Wow. So it's going to make a smaller stocking.
It's softer. It's a little smaller, it's still a nice size stocking. So I stitched like a mad woman. And I finished the entire thing. I thought, like, I got so far and I'm like, I'm home free. They know me well enough to know they get half finished gifts and then they're done in time. I also didn't have these, and these just came. So I don't know. I just got it in my head and I just kept going and going and going. It's,
oh my gosh.
If you need to do one quick, it is a good choice.
I can't believe you did that in like 5 days.
I did. I was like stitching, and I was working too. So it wasn't like I had all day. I had to work. But I love it. This is the third time I've made it. It's easy isn't the right word. It's a fast one. Like the guy probably got done in 2 days.
Yeah.
So, and then the train was 1 day. I think the whole bottom was 1 day.
I'm still stuck at they no longer make the fabric. Shepherd's bush must be.
I know. So it's a raw linen. I don't know where my book went. Yeah, I don't know.
There must be people out there that are like, ah.
Yeah, and this is a little bit, the problem is, so now I'm going to go and buy like 2 or 3 yards of this.
Yeah.
To just have it.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Or I might just get a bolt when I order our fabric. We'll see if they, pretty sure they would have it. I got to see. I love it. It's so much fun. So that I can't believe it's only the end of January and I have one stocking to go to my finisher.
Okay. So when do you have to give the gift?
Oh, I already gave it. She loved it. She died. She was like,
so how did you present the gift?
Just like this. And they know, and she's so cute. Oh my God. She calls me, she cannot call me Sue. You know how you have some of those family. And so she's like, Mrs. Stokes. I'm like, calling it Sue. She goes, no. So she goes, oh my God, I can't believe you made this. Like when I found out I was pregnant, I couldn't decide, do I call the doctor or do I call Mrs. Stokes?
Oh, that's so cute.
So cute. So
that.
So that is already ready to go. And then I have to make Ben and Kristen one. And then her sister has 2 little girls that I still owe stockings. So I really have 4 more to do this year.
So I'm just curious. I'm curious if anybody out there has fun ideas of ways to give that kind of gift where it's a gift in progress other than, did you just like fold that up, Sue, and put it in a little box?
In a bag. And you gave books. Books were the other no cards books she got. So I was so jealous as a children's book collector. I was like, can I just come home with you and sit and read all these books? Like
I had a book shower. I had a book sprinkle, they called it.
Oh,
it was.
I know. It was a beautiful shower. But yeah, I always do it like that. And literally I could have just had the jacket done on the guy and that's it. And she would have known and been just as happy. Yes. So it was more me being like, oh, let's just get it done. Let's just get it off our plate.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Oh, I love that.
So that's finished number 1.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And you have
what book did you give her?
I bought her, and I kind of wish I had done a bigger one, but then I really wanted to get her a golden book. So I got her the Saggy Baggy Elephant, which is just like nostalgic. And I couldn't decide. I was like, do I want to, I almost did the Little Engine That Could, because that's another favorite.
Yeah.
But then I love golden books.
Me too.
I love them. So I did the golden book with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but there was so many things. Like I used to knit Susan B. Anderson's giraffe for shower gifts, which is
Mm-hmm.
so tedious. It would take me as long as this stocking took me. And then I buy, did I say elephant or giraffe? It's a giraffe.
Oh, giraffe.
It's a giraffe. And then I buy the dancing giraffe book. I think it's called
Yes.
the giraffe.
Cute.
I know. So there are
That's
enough hours in the day.
yeah.
Okay, I have
No.
more finishes in case you were wondering.
Yes, bring them on.
I can't believe how many people fell in love with the ornaments and ordered them. That
I
made me
agree.
so happy.
I
Let me see.
know,
I can't remember.
including me, but I went with Christmas.
I know.
And I only got one. I got so lucky. I went on the website and they were sold out completely of all of Christmas. And I was like, well, they're not going to have the only one that I want, the Merry Pair. And they had one in stock. I wonder if somebody returned it or something, or they found one and they stuck it on there the minute I wanted it.
I
I
love
grabbed it. I was so nervous, like somebody's going to take it. Somebody's going to get it.
Mhm. I love it, but I am trying. It's taking so much focus for me to stay on Halloween right now because I'm tempted to go to a sample. I am going to pull out a sampler soon as another thing to do, but
Yes, I want to as well.
do you remember if this one was done completely? That one done?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yeah, I think it was.
That one was done.
We're working
Okay.
on the bus. I want to see
Okay,
in the
that
bat.
Oh, okay, that one's done.
Oh, I can't wait.
I love stitching on the stocking really set me back. I could have had so much more done on these. Did I show? Yes, because you know about the bat. So did I show the ones that I got to do last time?
Oh, this is the one I
Look at
wanted to
that.
see. Oh, that's just so
Fabulous.
cool in person. I just
Oh, you would die if you were right here looking at it. They are so fabulous.
it's just so cute. And it's what's the hearse?
Haunted hearse.
Haunted hearse.
And you know what I think I'm
House.
going to do? I've been thinking a lot about this because I want the names on the back.
Mhm.
I think I'm going to get a quilting labels, you know, the small ones.
Mhm.
I wish I had the ability, I'm sure I do, but I don't know how to do it, on a sewing machine to do the letters and sew them on a label and then glue them down.
Mhm.
But since I don't have that ability, I am going to write on like a quilter's label the name.
Yay.
And then
Use your handwriting.
yeah, I think I'm going to. I know
Please.
I'm going to, because again, I don't want to get stuck not finishing. That is
Right.
not happening. Okay, now did I show you the new ones that came? I love this one.
Yes, I remember Vampire. I
Okay.
remember. Yeah.
So just so we still stay on the same topic,
Mhm.
the bat is fabulous.
Oh, see, he's a cute bat.
He's so cute. I hate bats. I'm petrified of these creatures. Like die, heart attack. And look
And
at
going
that.
in and out and not doing the sewing method is fun for you. You're enjoying that.
I am, because they're relatively quick.
Yeah.
So like
And they're
this,
big. Is that 14 count?
I would say it's 14 count because I'm using
Okay.
two strands. So all I have left is to fill in the black on this side and this side. I hardly worked on this.
Is the black hard on your eyes at all?
It doesn't bother me at all.
No.
The black thread on it is a little like, yeah, right now it's a little tough.
Mhm.
I love it. It's worth everything.
Would you say that's beginner?
Yes, my sister, who hasn't stitched in years, bought some and is loving. She is working on the owl, which I don't have and I really love. She's really enjoying it. All she said to
Good.
me is, I might need help with the beads. I said, no, you don't. You will be fine, but I will help you. The directions are good. I do think they are good beginners.
Mhm.
The only thing I think is maybe the cutting out would be intimidating because it's intimidating to all of us, right? It's like,
Wonder if there's a finish. I'm sure she has finishing videos.
I'm sure she does. I would
I
put
wonder.
money Blah, blah,
If she
blah.
does, I will link them. I'll link down below any finishing video I find on YouTube.
If you need, she says backing paper. I agree with everyone. I'm not doing backing paper. If anything, I'm considering doing some cotton cloth
Yeah. Cotton
Yes.
cloth or wool felt.
or wool felt, either or. I would have sworn I saw something. I would just go to their website and see, or Google it more than that. They might have like a tutorial somewhere.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah,
them so much.
I know. Super
So
cool.
I have 8, and I might go for a couple more because I love them all so much. But I want to finish what I have because I want to complete this project.
I think they'd be so cute on a big Halloween wreath as well.
They would.
Just tacked on
Yeah.
there instead of hanging off something. I think they'd be so fun.
I think Joanna made a banner with hers, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm really hooked on the tree because I love trees. I love
it's gonna look so good on your
Yeah.
new table. Very
paper.
cool.
I know. I'm so excited about them. So yeah, I did that.
Good. What else?
Whip, but you go next.
The big thing that I really worked on was just getting started on my Hello Christmas Days sale. I finally started the 12 Days of Christmas sale. These are the silks, and these are NPI silks. This is the 12 Days of Christmas trees and samplers from Liz Matthews. And I'm working on some of them this year. These are the silks. I'm doing day 4, which is, boy, I don't have the cover, but it's the Joy to the World one.
Okay. I've got to get back to that.
I just have the printed out one, and I'm doing it actually on a grayish color. I'll put down below what color I'm using. It's just a Zweigart, and I'm actually doing it bottom up, but I'm holding it upside down because I wanted to do the base of the tree. I'm making this one into a tree.
Are you sewing that into a tree?
I am. I'm going to do this one into a tree because I love the way, I wish I had, I'll insert a picture here so you won't be able to see it, but the people are seeing it right now. Because the way the tree is, the Joy to the World fits really nice into it, and it's got one bird. She just did a really nice job of fitting it in nicely. I love it. I think, and if I only get to one of these, it'll be a nice single tree.
Yeah,
I won't only get to one of them, and I want to make known this was in the kit. If you did the special kit that Carrie and I put together with your fabric as an add-on, this was made by Chantel from Design 131.
I know what you mean. Yep.
Yes, she did these wonderful. I actually love this thing. I was on the fence about whether or not I would like this kind of tool instead of the floss tags, but I am loving this. This is really smooth. She really sands them down nice.
That was my question, because of silks, because silks I struggle with, even with dry hands, the snagging, so you're not getting it.
No, I'm getting nothing. This is so smooth. It comes right off. It's great. Like butter. I mean, when I put it away, I just kind of wrap it around. It's wonderful. NPI silk is fabulous, I have to say. And for the price point.
I know. Oh, you're making me want to pull those out. It's not good.
Isn't it pretty on this wheel? I mean,
yeah, I love it. I love
it. So that's really all I've worked on. I'm getting the base of this, and I've got whir for world for stitching.
Well, I kept going on Halloween because I'm really, really trying, and I still am enjoying it. So it's not like, like people say, stitch what you love. Like, I am really enjoying it, and I need this focus. So check this out last night.
Oh my gosh.
So I pulled it out last night, and I did all the flower, I did all of the writing. I worked on her dress. I got so much done.
Which, right? Or
What's
what's
that?
that one? What's that called? Which? Or
It's a la-di-da
la-di-da.
with no name on it. Hold on. I don't even know where I pulled it from. But I love la-di-da. You can tell it's a la-di-da from a mile away. Oh, I might have it here. So this one I'm going to start this week.
Good.
It's called Witch.
Okay. Yes.
It's
yes.
old, 2015.
I love that dress. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. It's a challenge to work on, I will be honest, because I am catching the pattern now, so that's really helpful. But
yes.
you really got to watch.
When is that reverse?
Yeah.
When you're not, oh yes.
Isn't it stunningly gorgeous?
Yes.
I have no idea. It was a scrap piece of fabric. But I love it. I have no idea what it is. And I would guess it's 36 or 40.
Yeah. That's cool.
So
cool.
I am going to frame it. I'm going to frame it myself. I don't think I will find a frame. I think I'm going to go on either, that website that you used. Like, because all I want is simple black, and I'm going to wait till this one is done. And
rusted roof, I think it's called.
Okay. Although look at that frame. Oh my gosh. Well, who knows? I may end up talking to Paige, but because they're small, simple pieces, I was thinking of keeping them simple.
Paige has a wall in her shop of mini frames, but maybe she's got one that's the size you need.
Fit.
Yeah, of like frames with all of her cutoffs of.
I am such a stickler for even margins.
So
like, I really am a stickler for it. So we'll see, but oh my gosh, I'm enjoying it so much. I love monochromatic. I'm a broken record in that way. And I think it's really why I get done so quickly on things like this, is because you're not changing colors.
Yeah, it is. There is something about that, isn't there?
Yeah, but look at this one. It does have little pops of green.
I love those two, are fabulous.
You see the writing? I might do the writing in black.
Oh, the writing isn't in black?
No, it's by. Hold, please. No, it's really hard to see. By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. I would love to do it teeny tiny and make it a pillow.
Well, so is it gray?
Show the chart. Sorry.
Oh, I'll do
that was so little. Yeah.
Our people are kind.
The color is 998, which is a bluish.
Oh, really?
Bluish gray. Oh, no, wait. That can't be.
No, 998. I thought it was black.
No, you're right. That's NPS. What is N?
Sometimes they say needlepoint silk instead of needlepoint ink.
Okay. Needlepoint silk. Yeah. So no, the color is 937 in DMC, which is a bluey gray. Or 256 in needlepoint silks.
If you're putting it by the other one, I would do all black for that whole thing.
Well, I want the green sock.
That would be fun as a little.
Yeah, I want the green sock.
Yeah, I like that too.
Really,
a little subtle change there, but I would do I would change the.
Those two on easels would be so sweet. I love everything witch. For me, Halloween is all about witches. I love everything witchy.
Quirky, whimsical witches.
Yep.
Not scary witches. Well, maybe a little hint of scary.
A little hint of scary is good too.
Yeah.
So that's all I've been working on.
Yeah. I started the muscle burrow hat. That's but I'm having some issues. I don't know if you've done the muscle burrow hat
No.
yet.
Chelsea's
the way that it's interesting, the way that they start it is you start it from the top, with that little circular thing, which is, I think, really neat, but they don't give you, it's a hat that you can knit with any gauge. So they give you different gauges, which is great, but they tell you to take gauge as you're knitting. So they say knit an inch and then take your gauge. Well, that's not enough, but I did that and I got a gauge. So I started knitting and I just feel like it's too big. I don't know.
But you're double, remember you're turning it inside out.
I know.
So it's
I'm
double.
nervous because now I'm knitting 20 inches of this big hat. And then, and then I narrow it down and I'll be turning it. And I don't want to waste that. Do I want to waste that much knitting time?
It does look big, but I think the camera isn't a good choice of.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at, the two by each other.
And do they look good together?
I don't know.
Don't you hate when things like this happen because you really can't enjoy it because you're stressed?
No, exactly. Because I'm like, is this, it is fun it is my knitting group hat. I mean, it's about like that much bigger.
But you're doubling it.
I
right?
am. Yeah,
So
you're
that's
right.
a difference.
I'm just going to go do it. I'm just going to do it. And I'll just rip it out
yeah.
if it's bad. This is my knitting group hat of just mindless.
Is it Madeline Tosh?
This is, do you remember? I don't even know if they're around anymore. Copper Corgi.
Never even heard of them.
Yeah, Copper Corgi Fiber Studio of Savannah, Georgia. This is their dark teal Jones Street Sport. Is 60% merino, 30% alpaca, 10% silk. I love that combo. Yes, merino alpaca silk. If you can get that combo, it's so soft and wonderful. I love the color. And I was thinking this would be George if he, he might like that.
I think the Musselburgh hat. Now I'll tell you this, Chelsea's made a bunch for the girls.
Oh, I should ask.
I'm pretty sure they're adult sizes.
Well, I know this is turning out to be the adult large also has a 24-inch. That just seems big. I'm always making my 22-inch, but I don't know if
no, because I don't make many hats.
I don't know. So that it's one of those, times where you're like knitting away and you're just not sure what's going to work, which I find always the most fun. But
that was the baby sweaters. I was like, I'm so stressed knitting these because I'm on a time crunch and I'm not liking them.
Well, that's more stressful. This isn't stressful, but
it is though still because it's supposed to be your downtime, your enjoyable time. And I don't like knitting stress. It bothers me. It really bothers me.
Yeah. Well,
I don't find it happens with stitching because stitching is so straightforward unless you're designing. Yeah. Then there's definitely, I remember designing stress. Oh my gosh, I remember that so well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. Stitching, you see if it's wrong instantly. Crochet, you see it's wrong and you can rip it out fast. And redo it fast. Knitting, a lot of times it's hours in or the end, and then it doesn't fit.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll tell you, every sweater I knit, I don't know when I'm just going to start trusting myself. First of all, I don't take gauge. Everyone can yell. I don't ever. And the sweaters look gigantic until I put them on and they fit perfect. I knit like a 2 extra large. So
I just don't understand.
I don't either. It's my gauge, right? It's like extra large. And I'm always like, oh, this is ridiculous. But it's like, that's what my gauge comes out to fit me because
whatever works.
Yeah, it works. Every time it works. My new one fits perfect. I was like, this is gigantic. It's not going to fit. Once you get it, the skills,
yeah,
it just, I don't know.
I love gauge swatching. I love making a swatch. So, but I don't have
the patience. It's like, I just want to get started. I think Chelsea started doing gauge swatches.
Oh, I just love them. And then I reuse the swatch, like I knit the gauge swatch and then I'll just rip it out and start knitting with it,
She has a board with all hers. It's really cool looking. Oh my gosh. How is we've got to talk a little journaling because I'm so obsessed.
Okay. So, well, for me, I kind of ran down the rabbit hole of jelly printing.
I've never done that and I wanted to.
I thought you would be my Obi-Wan.
No, no, it's something. Okay, do you follow Julia Bowser Designs?
No, let me write
Oh my
down.
gosh, she's one of my first art journal follows. Julia Balzig, and it's she's great.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down and look
And
that up. So yeah, I went down the rabbit hole. Last time I showed you some of the journals that I was making. We kind of especially went through the little practice journal I was making with some of the ephemera that I was getting, that I was kind of making these pages with the lace and the
Love.
the knitting and crochet and whatnot that I was inheriting from people. And then I was making the covers and whatnot. So I wanted to make some paper with my watercolors or acrylics, and I was just kind of painting it on. And I don't know if I was watching someone doing it and they were using a jelly print to make just mono prints instead of using an actual printing press or whatever. They were making these mono prints. And I was like, ooh, that sounds something interesting. And then all of a sudden I heard from my friend Sarah, Fiber Trek, and she was like, you should look into jelly printing. You should go down that rabbit hole. And I was like, oh, okay, then I should go down that rabbit hole. And then she told me about someone I should follow on YouTube. And I'll put the name down below of some of the people that I started following. So I used a coupon that I had at Michael's, and I got a jelly arts pad. And all it is, right now it's in between two pieces of white copy paper. It's just this like jelly pad. That's what it is. And it's like gelatin. Really, it's like, think of it as a big, what were those Jello, not Jello shots, Jello, those Jello jigglers you'd make.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Oh
but
my gosh, I used to make those for the kids all the time.
I loved those. I still love those, but it's
totally
really thin,
forgot about
and
them.
it's like even more stronger. It's kind of got a mineral oil. It's just a little bit of oily, but not a lot. Like if you set it on a wood table and you pull it up, you might get a little oil on your table, but you're not supposed to do that. But so it's just this pad, and then they recommend, and I've been using acrylic paints on it. You just squirt a little bit on, and you use, the little roller pad, and then you put down your whatever you want to use. I've been using office laser paper. I've been using cardstock. I even use some craft paper. You put it on, you just kind of rub, and then you peel it off, and all the paint comes off the jelly pad, and you've got some stuff, some pretty paper.
I need to see.
Yeah, so I was learning online, and I was learning how to make kind of just some fun little stamps from stuff from home. Like I was just taking, I get all this stuff in the mail, packing stuff. So I was making things that I could use to stamp from cardboard. I was using this to rub. I just didn't want to spend money. If I got the stamp, I already had this speedball brayer, so I wanted to spend as little money as possible. I was using bubble wraps. Yeah, so I just kind of started doing stuff, and I had some stencils. So, at first I started out, I wanted some lighter colors and not really thinking about contrast. I wonder if it would be better if I turned this down. Let's see. Ooh, wrong way. That's my ceiling. Okay.
Look at you go.
Yeah, so these are, I don't know if they're good or they're not good or bad. They're not done. Some of them aren't done. Like I'll put them through again, but just having fun with the tools that I had. These, what I can do is trim the white off, and these will be really cool pages. Fantastic. And then I can do some things on top. These are, this made that. I don't know all the right terminology. The paints I were using the paints I was using, paints I were using. I don't know how to speak, obviously, but I got a big batch of just little sizes of this Liquitex.
Yeah.
And I really like it. It's kind of it's just got a nice feel when it dries. I was worried that the paper wasn't going to feel nice, but I really
the other thing, you know, what you can do with that is you can tear it and use like pieces in your, like, do you know what I mean? Tear pieces, glue them, collage it.
Yeah, collage it. I can cut pieces and just use it as backgrounds on tags and make ephemera out of it. Now when you start to do more of the peeling, little bits stay behind, and those, some people call them scabs, which kind of grosses me out, but then when you put more paint down, it just starts to get more grungy, and I absolutely love this.
I love that.
Yeah, so that was kind of my light phase. This was a gone bad one, too much paint on it, so just saving it. It might end up being kind of cool, just cutting it up or doing something different on it, you know. Then you got a stencil. And this was like a 2-3 step process of putting a couple colors down, putting the stencil down, and then taking the color off with the stencil still on, then putting a new color over after I let the base dry, and then putting the page down. And when you let the base dry first, and then you roll over a light layer of another color, and then you pull it off, the new color helps reactivate the dried, and it pulls off. It's so much fun. This, I mean, it's just super cool. Like,
so great.
Then I was like, I had just little bits and pieces left over, and I just grabbed a paper bag and oh my goodness. This is just one peel with the bubble wrap, which I'll probably add to a little. I got a little muddy in there. Learning about colors and, you know, the color wheel and what not to use. And the next go around, I'm going to do a little bit better with contrast.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that pretty? It's just relaxing and fun. You're just picking colors, squirting them down. This was another stencil. Didn't do very well with value of color, but it's a gold paint with the green. It's more subtle. And again, I wanted more subtle because I was focusing when I did this one more on background of a page. Well, then I was like, oh, let's just throw colors. I was like, let's just get crazy with color. I just wanted to see what would happen if I just squirted all different colors and rolled. And
oh wow, I love that.
Me too, just kind of rolling. And then on the side, I'd have just a plain piece of paper that I would just roll excess off, and I was just rolling off on the side, and that turns into something too. So I was using the back of that.
Oh, that front though is fantastic.
Those become something, you know.
Yeah. Oh, this is terrific. Oh, those are my colors right there.
Yeah, so then I was getting a little bit better with color choices, and it's just a lot of practice and fun, and it's every time it's just a mystery what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But you learn there's techniques to sort of know what you're going to get, just kind of going lighter.
Oh, wow.
I'm just throwing some cardstock to pick up some things, but this might make a cool tag, background for a tag. And I was going with.
Oh, I love that.
Anything on the back. This one's just the background right now. I'll probably
love that.
Add some stuff. This was just the stuff that I rolled off that I'll add to. Same with a lot of these are just I'm gonna have to add to, but it's a good start.
Well, because you know what you can do on top of those? If you've got a lot of good stamps.
Yep.
You can do stamping on top of that. You can use, you really got to check out Julie. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I've seen people get the Pasha pens, the acrylic pen markers, and do some cool stuff. But yeah, the stamping, I love this one too. I like the movement.
Yes, I love that. She's got some fantastic stencils. And Diane Ravelry. She's fantastic.
I'll have to look into those. These
I
are,
feel
I
like,
was just kind of,
oh, that's gorgeous.
thank you. Yeah, I was just kind of going with golds and
That's
pink,
gorgeous.
gray. Another, it's just so much fun.
Well, especially if you're a journaler, an art journaler, that's just a great base, or
Mhm.
there's just so much you can do with all of that.
Yeah, so I'll go a little faster because we might be boring people. We start to,
So
this
gorgeous.
one is another, oh, I was just scraping one of those cardboard. I really like the idea of using things around the house. Like, I need to look around my house. I've seen
Oh,
people
yeah.
drywall tape, just mesh.
Oh, go out and even just go outside and get stuff.
Yeah, leaves. I've seen people. I don't want to spend a lot of money. I love the idea of using things around the house.
You don't need to. That's the whole thing. It's like,
Yes.
that's the real creative piece of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm loving about it. So that's just, that was my
Oh,
time.
you've just been
That was-
playing like crazy.
I've been playing. Yes, I'm tired of not doing. This is my whole year of just wanting to, let's see now, Rachel, where are you?
So
Hello.
what you really have to come be on our Creative Seed podcast. You really do, because like that just inspires me so much, as far as like, so how does it feel for you to sit? Like, that was probably how many 2 hours that you played?
Oh, probably an hour.
An hour.
Hour
So
and a half. Yeah.
like, what stops me from doing that? It's like an hour and I don't end up with something. I can't even explain it, because you're
Yes.
literally playing for an hour, and that freedom. And I went through, before I started the business, I went through probably a good amount of time. I'll have to bring my art journals in next time. Working in an art journal, which, if you ever want to buy yourself something fantastic, buy yourself a Dilutions book. It's just a book of paper, but the paper is really durable, so you can do so much with it.
Mhm.
Next time we'll talk more about this, because that's what I did. But it produced nothing, but it was so amazing
Mhm.
to just feel free enough to use that time and
Yeah.
just play. Because I am a producer, that's a really hard mindset for me.
Yes.
So that's the piece that I'm looking at, that going, oh my gosh, you allowed yourself time to do that. You allowed yourself time to do that. That is hard to do.
Mhm. Yeah, that was my artist date for
Oh,
the week.
see, you're doing so well with that book. You definitely have to come on. We're going to need to chat, because I feel like it's just so rich, this conversation, for
Mhm.
people that are creative,
Mhm.
which is everyone, but who need to be creative.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, the big thing I learned about myself is one of the ways that I sabotage myself in my creativity is I go to YouTube and watch other people do all the doing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then I'm going to get my cup of coffee. I'm going to watch this channel do the jelly
Instead of
painting
actually doing
and
it.
just think about me doing it.
Oh, wow. That is such a nugget right there.
While I knit
Yeah.
and dream about, oh, why can't I be an art journaler? You know
Mhm.
what? I started like this too. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think, oh, that's wasteful to spend, $50 on all those paints.
Mm.
And I'm like, no, I'm spending it on something else that
Yeah. And the thing that I take away from it all is, wow, this is such a process that is opening your brain to so much that can lead you places. My downfall is I am such an entrepreneur that the minute I find something like that, I try to figure out a way to monetize it. And that's not okay. Like, I don't want to do that anymore.
That's another self-sabotaging thing.
I know.
Because I'm the same way as well.
Mhm.
Yes.
I know Paige and I had this conversation. It's such an interesting conversation, but oh my gosh, like I feel like
because that's how you're validating that it's okay that you produce.
Yep.
Yeah. If I can make money off of it, then it's okay that I'm creative.
Yeah. Oh, it's a mindset. It's such a mindset. And it's like, I'm so excited for you. Like looking at those papers. Oh my gosh, it's so great.
So I want to continue doing that. I actually got myself a 5x7 jelly pad now because I want to be able to mix some colors on the jelly, the little jelly thing that I can bring over instead of mixing them on. I'm noticing that it's doing things I don't want it to do. So now I'm refining what colors I want to create. So now I want to go to the pad with maybe 5 tubes in front of me and play for an hour with just those 5 tubes and create that way, and maybe have like an actual journal in mind that I'm creating for with like a cover and go from there. I don't know. We'll see. But
the biggest takeaway from art journaling that I had was you just do it. You don't overthink it. You just do it. And you're not afraid of making a mistake and then finding value in those mistakes, because I hate the word mistakes, but finding value in it, because then you have to create even more to make it look right, which you wouldn't have done that unless you had made that mistake. I have a whole page that I will share about that. And it came out so fantastic because of one thing that I was unhappy with. And I thought, oh, I ruined it. And no, I didn't. Just go with it.
Better. Yeah. We briefly started talking about that on your last Instagram live or your Periscope morning thing about, how do you get started? And people don't start because they feel like they have to get everything perfect. They look at the blank page and they think, oh, but I have nothing to, there's nothing good. Like, what would I write about? What would I draw? There's nothing exciting going on. Like, if you're a person that wants to journal, say, well, there's nothing like, what would I write about? There's nothing exciting in my day. If you look at what the famous artists and famous people wrote about or drew about that we cherish, or if you look back at what you're cherishing people 100, 200 years ago wrote about, they are writing about the everyday mundane things. They're drawing the everyday mundane things. Like they're drawing fruit. They're drawing their pillows I was watching one video where she was showing a famous artist and he had a series of the pillows that was probably sitting next to when he was drawing. And it was just, here's the pillow that he pushed down and smushed. Here's his pillow flat. Here's his, like they're just drawing the mundane things.
Mundane. And the thing that I think about as I'm doing my journaling every day, and I have done every day, I am so excited about it. And what I realize as I'm writing is if I had the ability to look at my grandmother's journal and see what she made for dinner that night.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a connection that would be for us, right?
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
or I worked my crochet blanket today. Like then it would give me the ability to like picture her working on that. So like, It's really hard because mine is very boring in a sense, but it's what I'm doing. And I think of my grandchildren sometime reading about it. And I don't know, there's just something that is so nostalgic and beautiful about it.
Yeah.
So that's where I had to get over that hump. Mm-hmm. And still every day I sit down and I talk about what I made for dinner, or I talked about this stocking for Colleen for a week, and it's like, I don't know.
You're writing in it. Do you feel like you're writing to someone? Like, who do you feel like you're writing to?
I feel like I'm writing to Chelsea because I feel like all my experiences are going to, for lack of sounding like I'm so great, but helpful, because they're honest experiences about difficult things. And again, it will, and right now I only have the two girls, but someday for them to read it, it's like as young women or as young mothers, or Chelsea when she becomes a grandmother, it's like, it's kind of like this was my experience and I accepted it. Say it's a messy day. It's like, but that's what it was, and I'm okay with it. And she might have a messy day and be like, oh, I remember when mom wrote about that. And because we already talk about things like that are helpful to her. When I say, oh my God, I just wanted to kill you that day, that's helpful because she knows who I am. And those are just feelings. So,
yes.
So I think, and I'm not writing anything. So I'm writing everything that will be okay for them to read. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like going really deep into an area that just is me just being, I don't even know how to explain it, but.
Well, there's a little bit of what do I want them to know?
Yes, exactly. Like, do I want her to know this piece? And most times it is yes. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I love that.
And
now I know there's also more structured ways that you can journal too. My cousin Joanna and her siblings bought for my Aunt Margaret and Uncle Jim this thing called Story.
Yes, my friend just did it. Story time.
Story book or Story Life. I'll put the name of it down below. But for a year, my aunt and uncle got a question or a week, I think, prompts, and they religiously wrote answers, and then at the end of the year they got their answers put into book form, and they actually shared their life story books with us, and I read Aunt Margaret's and Uncle Jim's, and oh my gosh, what
I want to do it.
They both, I mean, I didn't know about Uncle Jim's favorite time in college or his best friend in high school, or I mean, it was fabulous.
I want to do my best friend in life, who I've known since 6th grade, just did it. And I really want to do it. I really want to do it for my kids.
I mean, maybe there's a way you could just Google online. You don't have to spend the money and do that particular thing, but look for online prompts that could help you.
Yeah. I think that I would pay to do that. Like, that is one that I would pay money for.
Yeah, that one is cool.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I think it's great for family history. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like I dropped the ball with my grandmothers. I mean, I spent a lot of time with one of my grandmothers, but I didn't spend enough time talking about the right things or the things that I would have liked to remember.
Yeah.
More just spending time.
Yeah. I loved my Aunt Margaret's was fabulous. I know so much about her already that I didn't learn very much, which is great. That means I have a great relationship with her. Uncle Jim, I don't know much about, so his was fascinating. I
do it.
Put it down. It was incredible. I absolutely loved it. Yeah,
I'm gonna do it. I think it's really valuable.
Yeah. Anyways, so many ways to journal for sure, but just do it. Starting is the hardest part. If you have any inkling, if you've wanted to do it, and you don't have to get a jelly pad. I mean, I'm enjoying the artistic part of the journaling, but there's different types of journals.
Do it the way that works for you. Like for me, the page prep every day is very simple. I do a double spread every day. So I have 2 days. I use washi tape, I use stickers, I use stamps, and sometimes they're really cohesive and other times they don't appear to be till then I put the writing in. It's like, yeah, it looks good. But it's really more about, I've done it in years past where I get so caught up in those, like presenting those pages a certain way that it stopped me. Now it's like, nope, I'm doing it the way that I can keep going.
Yep.
But before you go, I want you to share, because I think it's brilliant and I loved it so much, what you're doing with the sampler, the beautiful big sampler you're working on.
Oh yeah, I haven't done it yet, but yes, I had an idea. My Savior's Praise. So yeah, it kind of links in with the journals, because I'm creating a journal that's going to go with my Savior's Praise, which is the the one that I'm doing on the one side of the family. And there's a section in there on the sampler that's just got the numbers 1 through 15 or 13 or something. And the main part of the sampler, the matriarch name, it's my great grandmother, and then it's going to have the initials of all the ladies that are descendants of my great grandmother, who really was my very first best friend and who I grew up with until she passed away when I was 6. And just, I mean, if I had a daughter, I was going to name it her after her, and just a really important person in my childhood. And so I looked at those numbers, and I still remember her phone number, because every day my parents really were her caretakers when I was a baby, and we lived out on a farm and she was in town, and we would check in on her every day, and my mom would tell me to dial her number on the rotary phone. So I would dial, and I can say her number now, 65228-485. And so instead of the numbers, I already have 1, 2, and 3 stitched in, but I'm going to do her phone number in there, just a little shade darker or lighter, I don't know what yet. And then I'm going to continue on with the number chain. It'll be very subtle and we'll see, if people see it or not, if they
I love that. So when you said that, it was like,
oh, okay, good.
You have to do that. It's like, but it's kind of like taking the journaling piece and applying it to our samplers too, right? It's like, I feel like Lori Holt is like the master of that, the master of it. Just even her spools with, and I still want to do that so badly. Like things that like the girls say all the time, or what they call us, or all that documenting that I wish I had been better at. I just wish I had been. And it just feels like that's a great place. If journaling isn't really your thing, but you're a sampler stitcher, like add those pieces into the samplers. It's brilliant. Instead of numbers, a phone number. That's brilliant.
Well, it's a number, and I'm putting, why am I putting just 1 through 13? I might as well put in a number that means something.
Yes, even with the alphabets, it's like, highlight the initials, like,
I love when people do that.
Put different colors for the initials or the full name, like do the different colors, or do the Smyrna cross or an eyelet or something to make things pop. And they don't have to be so obvious that everyone sees them, but you know what they are.
Yeah. And I might, in my journal that I put with it, I might have a page that says subtle changes made to the sampler.
You definitely have to document, like, so when somebody sees it, it's like, oh, did you know that was her phone number? I think it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, because the way I'm making this, and this will probably never happen to the sampler, but just in my mind, this is kind of my guiding post. This is the guidepost. As I'm making it, I'm pretending that it's going into a museum. Like a folk museum in the hometown that I'm from. And, in 200 years, people are going to walk through and my journal is going to be out and the sampler, I just have it in my head like that. That's not going to be the case, but I just have it in my head like that. And so that's what's guiding me.
It also speaks so much to who you are and the enjoyment of doing it. That's all it is, right? Like, you're enjoying it. Why not picture it that way? This is like making the experience so much better.
Yeah.
So, love it.
And then the spinning wheel, and I inherited, we'll get that nice and down below. And I'm seeing the whole vignette
Love it.
in the museum.
I still want to start with a blank piece of fabric and just do what like Deb of Country Pictures did. Just start with a motif and then build around it, your family experiences, whatever. That is just in my mind a lot of what that would look like.
You were saying you're sad you didn't do a good job of memory keeping. Do you mean with your own kids?
Yeah.
But where you can really be a help is with your grandkids, because I also didn't do a good job, but as a mom, it's so hard to do a good job.
Trying to stay alive.
My mom will be like, oh, don't you remember when Alex said this? And I'm like, no. My mom remembers so much of my kids' funny quirky things that happened, jot those down for her.
I know, I have to do that. I have to. It just feels like the intention is always there and then life gets in the way and you forget.
I
But
know.
the daily journaling for me, that is where I would jot something
Right.
down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, perfect.
Yeah. Just like remember the day and like,
Lily said this today. It cracked me up. Yeah. Stuff like that. Oh, I
the
love it.
Rapunzel
Oh my
costume.
God. It was so, I literally, Sue sent me this adorable video of her in a Rapunzel costume, just dancing and just looking at herself. And I thought, can I have a redo of, I was like, not a redo, because I loved just another chance to be a child.
Yes.
Can I do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. That freedom to just be who you are and say,
here.
Yeah, it's just, oh my gosh, it just warms my heart.
Oh, what a blessing to have a beautiful childhood. What a gift.
Such a gift. Such a gift. Those girls are very blessed. Very blessed.
Such a gift. Such a gift. Oh, we're getting deep here on this episode. Is there anything else we needed to share today?
I feel like no. I feel like we kind of hit all the hot spots.
Yeah,
I've got to go to the
I have fabulous LFA linens in the shop. I can say now, and I actually have a lot of, I don't know how it's coming in. Can you tell difference on the camera?
Very subtle, which they are very subtly different, all of them.
Well, in person, they're a little bit more different than on the camera. I'll tell you that right now. But the top is millstone. And Sue, I have to tell you, the 18 count millstone, there's something about
I shock myself. So
if you're an Ada stitcher, this Ada capture, I just love this millstone in the Ada. Oh my gosh, it almost makes me want to be an Ada stitcher.
Same. And I'm not really an Ada stitcher. I mean, it's beautiful and the result is beautiful. It's the feel for, I'm so used to a not as stiff of a fabric.
Yeah.
But the nor'easter I did yesterday on the Ada came out gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, it's just beautiful. But and then I've got, I have not put them through the Rachel judging yet and the stitching. The Boston Tea Party in 32 count. That one's highly modeled on that side and this side too. But oh my gosh, I mean, talk about awesome model.
I am loving dyeing fabric so much more because I'm doing small batches instead of giant batches. And I am enjoying it so much. Like I could dye fabric every day.
This is covered bridge. I mean, look at that.
So do you have covered bridge? Why was I thinking you didn't have it?
I only have it in 32.
Oh, okay. Because that was on my list for today.
And not much. So I pulled it out just so you could see kind of the difference. Covered bridge is a little, more brown. Millstone has a bit more of a gray.
Millstone to me is like a taupey gray.
Yes.
Yeah, I love millstone so much.
Kind of tell the difference. And then Boston Tea Party is again different modeling, and I would say more.
It's a little darker brown, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, is it more of a burnt umber?
Yes. Yes.
Yellow ochre. This just seems like this is more of a cooler brown and this is warmer.
Yes, Boston Tea Party is a very warm brown.
Oh,
very
Boston?
warm. Yes. Okay. And it's a what would you
Boston. This is Boston, very warm. Covered bridge is more of a cooler brown.
Cooler brown. Covered bridge can get a little, I don't even want to say red because it's not red.
Not at all.
Not at all. But it's
a brown. Like this is I love like this is true brown. This is honey or yellow ochre with some dark umber. I mean, I love. And then the other one is the Dunes at Dusk, which I mean, Dunes is like a favorite. Sorry about the wrinkles. I just haven't done the ironing yet, but Here we go like
I
that.
know. I'm so excited about our fabric. I'm so excited about it because I feel like it just gets easier and easier. I don't know how long I've been dyeing yet. Fabric. I've
So
lost
the
track.
Dunes has a lot smaller modeling. I don't know how you do that.
I don't either. It's luck.
The Dunes, I don't know. The Dunes does the Dunes have a different base color than the
Can't
Boston Tea Party? You have to have your notes in front of you, and I'm putting you on the spot
No, I do. You can put me on the spot.
because when in person they're different. Boston is a little deeper.
Dunes. Okay, yes. So Dunes is a light version
Okay,
of
because
that.
you can tell. See the
Yes.
back. This is
You
it's got
just
darker
just go dark.
splotches.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Dunes is to me is like a softer,
Mhm.
like the modeling is there, but it's subtle and soft.
Yeah, see how you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dunes, Boston.
Oh my gosh, there are times that I'm like, Rachel, I'm just not sure which this one is. So you can decide which because
I got it. We got it.
yeah, I mean, yarn dyeing is a much more controlled
Mhm.
dye than this is. And I do everything by eye. Everything I
Mhm.
do is by eye. My yarn is by eye. Like it's just very like I do it more intuitively.
Mm.
I'm not a formula person at all.
Mm-mm.
And I thought I should be, and I tried. Oh my God, I love those so much. And I'm not.
Well, it's beautiful. Okay, so these black wings are selling so well because they're so fun. Did you see the Beatles?
Beatles ones.
Yeah, I knew they would do really well because I love them. They feature the lyrics of some of the Beatles songs on them, and I think they are just so fun for gifting, you know, for your friend. Like all you need is love. Just there's just great lyrics. Don't carry the world upon your shoulders.
Oh,
Uh,
I
I get
love
by with a little help from my friends. What a cute little
oh,
pencil to give a friend, you know. There's just
love it.
all kinds of fun ones. So it's volumes number 192. It's in the shop. I think there's 6 left. So that's going fast. And then I only have one left of a zippy bag with the zippers. It's the panel, the Lori Holt
Oh, yes,
panel.
yes. So
I
funny.
do have, and then I think I have 5 or 6 panels without the zippers because I know there's people out there who have tons of zippers and they like to use just regular old zippers. So what are you focusing on these next 2 weeks?
These next 2 weeks are going to be mostly fabric dyeing, I think.
Mhm.
That's going to be a thing. And then I'm finishing this for sure. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I just
Okay.
myself.
All right. We're holding you to it.
I'd like to think I'm going to finish this. There's not that much left. There really isn't. It's the dress.
It's the hard part.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the harder part. And then there's a 2-row border, which, but I think I'm going to do it. I think it needs it.
Mhm.
So I'm going to finish this. I might finish another ornament. I do think I want to go look at all my samplers and pick one to focus on for a while.
I'm in the mood for sampler too. I need to look at what I've got going.
I have one that I bought from you way back when. Can't remember what it was called, but I'm like, I did so much of it. It's beautiful. It's very nostalgic.
Yeah, is it the one on Covered Bridge? The A and M and E or
It's the one with,
yes.
like the center motif that's like a wreath almost.
Yes.
It just reminds me of my grandmother, and I
yes.
did a ton of it. Like it's
Yes.
so
Do that one.
I may pull that one back out. I was thinking a lot about it last night. I don't really have a desire to buy another one, like
No.
because I have so many that I've started that I love. Mary Morgan, I want to get back to.
That's the one I might do.
My birthday,
I love
I
it.
want to get back to.
Maybe I'll ask Carrie if I could do the Mary Morgans for her birthday sale.
Thank you. I also have that Adam and Eve one from Sassy Jacks that I love.
Oh,
I don't
you have a lot of them actually.
I have quite a few gorgeous ones started, and I'm like, I want to do them. They're not like, oh yeah, I don't like them anymore. I really want to do them.
Yeah. And I mean, when I got the Jessie Watson back from the framer, from Paige, the framer, I mean, I love walking by my sampler and the wall. It's so fun. I want more samplers on my wall. Did I tell you I bought a sampler?
The things that you forget to share with me.
I don't think I've shared it with anybody. I haven't shared it with anybody because I haven't done anything with it yet, except taken it out of the frame and pretended I was a Winchester textile.
I love the way you say that.
I did. I got my gloves and I pretended I was there, and I pulled all the nails out and took everything out and got my acid-free tissue, and I had my book out. And yes, it's very fun. Where's Salisbury, Connecticut?
Salisbury,
Massachusetts?
No, Salisbury, Connecticut, and Salisbury, Massachusetts.
Okay, this is Salisbury, Massachusetts.
Okay. I don't know.
Yes, I have to do some research before
Massachusetts is a short state, so yeah, I have to look.
Early 1800s, and it's just an easy, like regular old girl sampler, like she was 10.
Okay, next time I want to see it, we'll talk about it.
I know, I have to work on that a little bit. Like, I got the template they use at Winchester, and I'm trying to fill it all out like I'm pretending I am, like,
you're doing a lot of really good pretending. I like it.
Well, you gotta act the part, and then maybe I will be the part. But yeah. Anyways, we'll get back to that. That's just a little teaser. I don't know when.
All right. Well, I've got to get to the grocery store. I've got to start dyeing fabric. I'm already behind, so I can do it.
I was like, "Where's Percy?" But he's just right here, curled up in a ball.
And he's upstairs. I
gotta get back to my jelly pads.
Back to your jelly pads. I've got to get to my fabric. And we'll be back. Who knows?
We'll be back. Yes. So enjoy your 2 weeks. Let us know down below how you are doing, and tell us what creativity you are actually doing down below. Maybe something new. Try something new you've wanted to do and you've been just watching people do, maybe on YouTube or the Instagram, and actually do it. And tell us about it.
I love that piece, that thought. I love that thought.
Let's challenge each other. Instead of watching on the sidelines, let's do it.
Do it. Oh, I like that you've become a cheerleader.
Grip, we're in trouble. I know.
Oh my goodness.
Happy day, everyone. We'll talk to you on the next episode and on the Instagrams.
On the